welcome. The title of the message is Bread Alone. But let's begin by affirming together our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. And I invite you now just to take a deep breath, gently but fully filling your lungs and then exhaling, allowing that breath to escape back to universe. Bringing your awareness to this present moment, right where you sit, right where you stand, right now. Opening yourself to Spirit, the teacher within. Allowing the divine wisdom that is within you to inform you about what is yours to do on your unique spiritual path. And so it is. So, bread alone. This is the fifth message in the series of messages about the Lord's Prayer, also known as the Our Father. And the line from Matthew chapter 6 here is, "Give us this day our daily bread." And what is meant by affirming this statement? Rocco Errico says it's more like provide us our bread for each day. And that's very close to what we have in the more normal, the King James or the New Revised Standard Version than some of these other translations. So give us our daily bread. It's an affirmation that our daily sustenance comes directly from the only source in the entire universe, and that is God, our loving householder, our shepherd, our beloved parent, Abba. Give us our daily bread is also making a claim. It's saying yes to source, claiming our daily sustenance. That yes, we have all we need, and yes, it comes from Abba. So let's look at this bread, this daily need. And I'd like to begin by sharing a few jokes about bread. What did one slice of bread say to the other after a long day? "Don't worry, tomorrow will be butter." How does the bread court its sweetheart? With lots of flowers. What does a loaf of bread say to a friend after doing them a favor? "It's the yeast I can do." So I'm headed off to mail a loaf of bread at the toast office. And I'm wondering why it's such a shame that bread puns are always crumbly. I know. A little punny, huh? But let's get a little more serious as we talk about bread. Bread is a symbol. It's a symbol of the outer needs that we have for the sustenance of our body. That is the food that we eat, the water that we drink, and the air that we breathe. But going even deeper, it is the impressions that we receive and how we receive them. Charles Fillmore teaches that the bread from heaven, the manna that the children of Israel received while they were wandering in the desert, are the ideas of truth that come from the highest part of us when we say yes to receiving the counsel and guidance from the divine in us, and allowing that counsel to reign in our heart. We are receiving that daily bread. Jesus said, when he was tempted in the desert, right after he was baptized, he went to the desert for 40 days and was tempted by the enemy. And the enemy, remember, there's only one presence and one power. So in the Gospel of Matthew, from the Lambda translation, chapter 4 and verse 4, it says, "But Jesus answered, saying, It is written, that it is not by bread alone that a human can live, but in every word which proceeds from the mouth of God." Now, what does that mean? And that's our question. Bread alone? No, it's not by bread alone. He's not talking about the physical bread here, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. That is divine wisdom speaking to us and expressing through us. So it's not by only the sustenance of the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe, but it is this impression, these ideas that come from source, from the highest part of us, because that's what heaven is. That place in us where we experience the counsel and guidance of God. It's what we talked about last week. And we keep moving forward with this because it's so important. It was the primary message that Jesus taught while he was here on earth. It is the message of the Christ expressing through us. This Word of God that we receive, the guidance and counsel of God, it is the kingdom. It is what is commonly translated as the kingdom. It appears to us. We can talk about it in lots of language. Angels. You know what angel means in the Aramaic? In the Aramaic, angel is simply a messenger. A messenger. And what do you suppose this messenger is? It is the divine in us speaking God's counsel and guidance, whispering it, shouting it, mostly without even using words. And we know what it is. So we're claiming, as we affirm, give us this day our daily bread, not only our physical sustenance, we are also claiming, we are saying yes to the counsel and guidance of God, allowing divine wisdom to rule in our heart. Not my will, but thy will be done. There's a Semitic poem that I'd really like to read for you right now. It's just so nice in its wisdom. Now, Semitic, I want you to understand that word, because we often think of Semitic as meaning Jewish, but it isn't necessarily only Jewish. Certainly Jewish, the Hebrews, are a Semitic people, but there are many Semitic peoples that live in the Near East. So think of it as an ancient culture that grew up in and around Palestine, all around what we know of as the Fertile Crescent. And here's the poem. Back of the loaf is the snowy flour. Back of the flour, the mill. Back of the mill is the wheat and the shower, and the sun and the Father's will. You see this procession that is going back. It's going deeper into the meaning of the bread. And at the end of that meaning is the Father's will. Abba, the will of Abba expressing to and through us. There's not a moment, there's not a day, there's not a time when the ancient Semitic person did not realize the importance of the divine in their life. Every expression, everything they did in their daily life, whether it was shepherding the sheep, whether it was repairing the tent, their dwelling place, whether it was baking the daily bread, it was done as a reverent act. It was done with its dedication to the divine, expressing in their life. Every act is a prayer. Every act can be a prayer when we remember the divine in us and say yes. Affirm it. Provide your daily sustenance. O beloved parent, Abba. This is the message today. Taking this affirmation of the source of everything that we need in our life, from the most simple food to the most divine idea, it all comes from our beloved parent, Abba, who we find in that still place inside of us. When we say yes, when we claim it. Give us this day our daily bread. And so it is. Let's close by praying together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Thank you.